Hey there, who wants to go camping? Today I'm talking all about meal prep, planning, and how to use a cooler for all of your camping kitchen needs. This is for those of you who don't have a trailer with electricity and a refrigerator inside of it. You're doing it old school, you're using a cooler while you go camping, and I'm gonna give you some incredible tips and ideas. I can't wait to talk about this with you all. I'm Jen. I'm so glad you could join me today. If you're new here, this channel is all about living on less. And one of the ways our family lives on less is that a lot of our vacations involve camping. It's about the cheapest vacation you could ever have. Whoever you are, today I want to talk to you all about cooler camping because it's something I'm really excited about and something I'm passionate about. If that is you as well and you fall into this category of wanting to make camping a little more fun for you and your family, you're gonna love this video. Those of us who are trying to save money on our vacations and camp are probably tent campers, which means we don't have a fridge in a trailer that we can just plug in and stock it like we do at home. It means we're using a cooler. When I was growing up, that meant you had some food in a cooler and you had loose ice in it, and it was really gross picking things out, and then you had to go and buy ice at the camp store every day and replace that ice. But I didn't love that experience, so I wanted to find a different way to do it. So here are my tips. The first tip I have for you is that well before you go on your camping trip, like several weeks in advance, I want you to plan out and make a list of every single meal you're gonna have when you're going camping and every single component or ingredient that is involved in that meal. Why are you doing that? Because you don't want to be worrying about that 2 days before you leave on your camping vacation while you're packing and you're super stressed about everything else. You don't want to have to run to the grocery store to get items you didn't have in the house last minute. Plan it ahead. You want your vacation to be relaxing. When you are making the list of meals that you're going to have, what you want to do is actually plan out not just the meals you want, but on which day you are having which meal. Why? Because you want to make the meals you have at the start of your camping vacation full of stuff that perishes easily, that's not going to keep or freeze very well. You're going to have those meals at the beginning of your camping vacation, and you're going to save the meals for the end of your camping vacation. That's stuff that's made up of non-perishable ingredients that are going to keep for a really long time. Those are at the end of your vacation. I'm going to share with you a 4-day camping menu that our family has used in the past. So on day 1 for breakfast, we have eggs, bacon, and toast with fresh berries. Your eggs you cannot freeze in a cooler, so this is something you're going to want to eat close to the beginning of your camping vacation. For lunch, we had chicken salad and lettuce wraps, as well as orange slices. Again, lettuce is something you can't freeze. You want to eat it towards the beginning of your vacation so that it doesn't get all gross and wimpy on you. And same with your orange slices. For supper, we often on the first supper of our camping vacation, we have corn on the cob, and it's usually corn that we've picked up at a farm stand on our way to camping. So it's good and fresh, yummy sweet corn. We'd have corn on the cob, roasted sausages, and a Caesar salad. Again, we're having a salad meal with lots of lettuce and goodness at the beginning of our camping vacation. On day 2, for breakfast, we would have pancakes, breakfast sausages, and orange juice. Our pancake batter is something that I will have made ahead and frozen and put in a ketchup squeeze bottle in my freezer. And it's going to act as an ice pack in my cooler. So on day 2, when we have breakfast, it will have probably largely thawed, and it's super easy to squeeze that pancake batter out onto my skillet. The sausages as well will have been frozen and are going to act as an ice pack in my cooler. Same with the orange juice. For lunch, we often on the second day have taco salads, and we get little mini bags of taco chips or Doritos, and each kid will open up their bag and they will add in ingredients like chopped peppers, chopped tomatoes, some seasoned ground beef that I've cooked ahead of time, grated cheese, salsa, sour cream, and they can mix it all up in their bag and eat it right there without even a plate. For supper on day 2, we're gonna have steak as well as potato, carrot, onion packets over the fire, and we're definitely gonna have some s'mores for dessert. On day 3, we're gonna have something that's a little more non-perishable. We're gonna have peanut butter and banana wraps. So I would pack some wraps, some peanut butter, and some bananas that all don't need to be in a cooler, and we're gonna have those as wraps for breakfast, as well as some muffins. For lunch, we're gonna have Katie and hot dogs. The hot dogs have been frozen and they're in my cooler. And for supper, we're gonna have spaghetti with meat sauce, pie iron pies using bread and canned pie filling as the middle. I'm not saying these meals are healthy, you guys. And then on day 4 for breakfast, we're going to have oatmeal, or we're going to have cereal, things that are kept in my non-perishable bin that all we need to do is add some milk or water. And we'll have canned applesauce for dessert for breakfast. Usually on that day 4, we're packing up our campsite and we're heading home. So I often save a little treat for day 4 and we grab some lunch at somewhere along the drive home, whether that's a fry shack where we get some yummy fries or poutine, or maybe we stop at a Subway and get ourselves a Subway sandwich to eat while we drive, something like that. I usually save for that last day. So as you can see, as I went through that list, the meals definitely progressed from perishable items to more non-perishable items as we go on. These meals might not be something that you guys like or your family likes, so I really encourage you to scour Pinterest, scour websites that talk all about camping meal ideas, and choose things that you and your family will love. Listen, this isn't a dream all-inclusive vacation, but there are ways that you can make it better for your family. So make it exciting food that you don't normally have at home. Make it something you look forward to, because this is a vacation. Even though it's camping, and for moms, it doesn't always feel like a vacation, it's a vacation. So for example, some ideas we've done, a lot of times for breakfast when we're camping, I will pack biscuits and frozen sausage gravy that I've made ahead of time. We love sausage gravy and we only ever have it camping, so it's a special treat I save for camping. Same with pie iron pies and pie iron pizzas. We've made pizzas and pie irons before. You can just use like a bun and put on your sauce and cheese and toppings and another bun on the other side, and you've got pizzas made in the pie iron. We use our cast iron skillets to make loaded nachos over the fire. That is so delicious, you guys. Sometimes for dessert, we pack the big jumbo marshmallows and you roast them. This is an idea that my in-laws, hi Adam and Melissa if you're watching, that they've had, and you stuff the huge marshmallow with berries and then top it with whipped cream as your dessert. It's so good. Or maybe you want to be more healthy and do some healthy options for camping. We've done veggie shish kebabs over the fire, or done a packet of salmon with lemon and dill, and you can just roast that salmon over your coals. The sky's the limit really, and leading up to your vacation when you're bored at home, might as well really get creative and plan this out ahead of time. So as you've heard me reference, I've been talking about freezing my food, and I did want to talk about this for a minute. The way that cooler camping becomes so much easier for me is we don't use loose ice until we absolutely have to, maybe at the very end of our trip. The way we get around that is I turn my food into my ice packs. So you need to, when you've had your list of the meals you want to serve, you need to go through that and look at, okay, what are all the things on this list that can be frozen? And you're going to prep and make the food ahead of time and pop it in your freezer, your deep freezer if you have one, because it'll get really frozen solid in there. And then you're not going to take those out until an hour before you leave for camping, and they're going to act as the ice packs in your cooler. This also helps just with room, because if you have a big family like mine, you probably need to have maybe 2 coolers. And if you're having to load that cooler with ice, you're gonna run out of space. So if your food is your ice, you can pack so much more into a small space. So things you can freeze, all meat obviously can be frozen, even if it's raw. If you've got sausages or steak that you're going to cook, definitely make sure they're frozen ahead of time and put them in either a Ziploc bag or a sealed container in the freezer. Even stuff that's not raw meat, cooked meats, hot dogs, definitely you can freeze your hot dogs. I do it all the time. I buy them on sale and pop them in the freezer. There's another ice pack for you. You can freeze grated cheese. So don't just pack a block of cheese and grate it when you're there. Grate it ahead of time to save you time when you're at camping so you can relax more. Grate it ahead of time, put it in a Ziploc bag or a container and freeze it. And then it will be available later to top on your spaghetti or your nachos or your wraps or whatever it is. Cheese can totally be frozen. Milk and juice, you can definitely freeze. Did you know you can freeze milk? I didn't know this until we went on a canoeing trip to Algonquin with some of our friends when we first got married. You can freeze your milk in either a mason jar or a plastic jar and just leave a lot of head space so that there's room for expansion. You can freeze it in a bag if you want, and it does doesn't change the consistency of the milk at all, and then it will be thawed by the end of the trip to have on your cereal or your oatmeal. Any sort of batters for baking. So as I mentioned already, I freeze my pancake batter. I have also frozen my biscuit batter, or just made the biscuits ahead of time and frozen them. I've made fruit crisps before in our skillets over the fire. So I froze my fruit and I froze my brown sugar oatmeal topping that I was going to be putting on top of it. Both things are frozen. All I needed to do was pop them in the pan once they were thawed, and we had a delicious dessert. Freeze any sauces you're going to use. Yes, you can freeze ketchup. Yes, you can freeze spaghetti sauce. Make your meaty spaghetti sauce ahead of time. Put it in a container and freeze it. You got one solid block of an ice pack right there, and then serve it as your meal as it thaws in your cooler. When you're putting these frozen items in your cooler and you're packing your cooler, always put the frozen items at the bottom of your cooler. So load up your cooler with all of that frozen stuff, and then on top of that is going to be your more perishable items. So then you're gonna be putting your lettuce, your tomato, your onion, perhaps you've got some kind of relish and mustard or ketchup that you want for your hot dogs. So that's how you're going to pack your cooler. I have done cooler camping for a full 7-day camping trip, and I didn't need to buy any ice packs or ice at the camping store until day 4 or 5 of that trip. So if you are going camping for a whole weekend, you can easily get away with packing this way with your food as ice packs and never have to buy extra ice for your cooler. Easy peasy. So what do I use for coolers when we go camping? Well, here's my big hard-sided cooler. This is my preference for putting the bulk of our food in. Why? Because a hard-sided cooler keeps your food cooler longer than a soft-sided cooler does. It's easy to just open the lid and shut it again. No zippers involved or anything like that. I love my hard-sided cooler. I do have Amazon affiliate links below to the hard-sided Coleman coolers I have if you're interested in buying one for yourself for your own camping needs. But if I don't have enough room in my hard-sided cooler, I'm too cheap to go out and buy a second hard-sided cooler, and we've gotten a few free soft-sided coolers before. So I have a couple that are like this. You can see inside that they are fully insulated. They just zip up. So I might keep some stuff in these coolers as well. Maybe the things for the meal for our very first night at the campsite, I would keep in a soft-sided cooler. Links for those below as well. I put all of our non-perishable foods. So maybe I've got some canned beans. I've got stuff for s'mores. Maybe I've got some rice, breads, baked goods, things that don't need to be refrigerated. I have a special camping tote, a Rubbermaid tote with a lid that is assigned for that type of food, and I keep all of that stuff in that sealed tote. You want to put all of your food in things for your camping kitchen that are very easy to just pick up and put in your vehicle. I often keep my cooler and my non-perishable foods containers out during the day, but at night they must be put back in your vehicle. Or if you're camping really remote in the north, you often have to put that type of stuff in a locked area that will keep bears out, because if you put it in your vehicle, bears could try to attack your vehicle. So you need to know where you're camping, what is best for camping there, but just make sure that you put all of your food in something that's easy to pick up and put somewhere else. I'm going to be having a video coming up all about what I use as equipment for my camp kitchen. I was thinking about doing this all in one video, and then I was like, no, I don't have time to talk about that all in one video. So make sure you're subscribed and keep an eye out for that next video, because in there I'm really gonna go in depth as to how I equip our camp kitchen to make our vacations more of a vacation and not as much work. It's just little tips and life hacks for your camp kitchen that are really gonna help you. Now, I wanna hear from you. What are some of your favorite meals to have when you go camping? Or if you're a beginner camper and you've never done it before, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions about how you would prep and make this food ahead of time? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, click that like button, it really helps the channel out. And I just want to send you all good wishes as you plan your camping vacations this year, or maybe you're planning already for next year. Please remember to make your camping vacation what you would enjoy. Don't let yourself just have to go along and be, you know, the mom or the parent who's just putting up with this vacation because their kids like it. Make sure you're planning your meals in such a way that it's low fuss, low prep while you're actually at camping, so you can have time to just sit in that lawn chair and read a book. I can't wait to see you guys in my next camping video. For the least, This is Jen.